I believe that comic books, movies, and comic book movies have the mythic potential to inspire, to emotionally impact, to make you feel something real. The MCU has done that and probably will do that again.
Alright, now tell that to Marty McFly Italian. And I'm not sure what you mean by the MCU has done that, but I feel like every MCU film has a way of connecting to people in some degree. Yes, even Dark World. If they didn't connect with you that way, then I guess this video wouldn't exist, right?
Infinity War didn't work for me. Yes, I was that angry prick who left the theater complaining while everyone else was raving. I loved a lot of stuff about Infinity War, mainly the Guardians, specifically Rocket, Thor, and Groot, and I loved Thanos. I loved how the space scenes looked. I loved that final shot of Thanos, and I loved the idea that Thanos won and we saw our heroes lose. But I didn't love the ultra-fast pacing that left me unable to be fully invested in any one character or grand moment, the bland and downright ugly visuals on Earth, and of course the constant need to throw a joke in there even if it breaks the tone and drama of a scene.
The movie was 2.5 hours long that was juggling multiple different perspectives and locations all converging into one story. The pacing is fast because it is a race against time. We don't get time to breathe because the characters barely get time to breathe. Bland visuals on Earth? Nah, New York is gray. Change my mind. And for the whole joke breaking the drama of the scene, could you have used a better example? The scene doesn't help your claim. Wait, this is a video about Endgame. How did I manage to get stuck talking about Infinity War? Extra sin for getting me off topic.
I refuse to believe there are people out there who enjoy hating something. They may pretend to, they may make a YouTube video ranting about it, but
Did you just do my job for me? Nah, self-awareness won't save you. 5 cents.
and get a personal story about Steve Rogers and Tony Stark. And to be fair, I got that, kind of. I got that, but to me it felt rushed.
I'm not gonna ding him yet. I'm gonna wait.
Tony Stark spend time with his. But sadly, to me, a lot of these moments that should make me feel something real are overshadowed by the need to keep the plot moving forward.
Wait, are plots not supposed to move? Or is that just a Disney thing?
Did you notice that Peter Quill came back to Earth? I know you saw him in the final battle, but did the filmmaking and writing ever call attention to the fact that Quill has finally returned to his home planet after successfully avoiding it for the majority of his life?
Bigger fish to fry. And to be honest, I don't think he would even care if Thanos is in the conversation. Or Gamora. Would it be cool? Yes. Would it completely throw off the grandioseness that you want to breathe? Yes.
Look, one moment spent on that instead of on this giant CG muck.
Did somebody say CG muck?
Bruce Banner completes his entire character arc, the arc that has been set up since the first Avengers, Incredible Hulk even, off screen.
I wouldn't say anyone completes their arcs off screen. I feel like the time jump is used to show how these characters have changed with the situation. While they grow, they don't necessarily change. The memory of the snap and the constant reminder of what happened by seeing those effects even 5 years later, the heroes aren't able to fully move on from that. That's why there's still a team. That's why these characters are still going, because they are trying to make up for it.
So all the possible internal conflict Bruce could be feeling about being stuck big and green is just played for laughs.
Did you just say he is stuck big and green? I'm pretty sure this was his idea, my guy.
Do you guys remember when Bruce Banner was the best part of the Avengers?
I got low. I didn't see an end, so I put a bullet in my mouth and the other guy spit it out. Damn.
If Bruce has completed his arc as the Hulk, then wouldn't that mean he is accepting of his situation? And also, are we seriously stuck on the fact that a middle-aged white guy who is out of touch with the youth is trying to act cool? Isn't Peter Parker cringy as hell in Spider-Man 3 on purpose because he thinks he looks cool? Oh, I almost forgot.
Just showing us one of those moments of Tony walking away from Iron Man, from the hero life, and deciding to be happy with Pepper would make his eventual sacrifice that much more impactful. Show us the wedding, show us the birth, give us a montage or something.
Bro, you just complained about a montage 7 minutes ago. Make up your mind.
Arriving on this ship, we get a montage and some voiceover explaining it. We see the aftermath of no food and no oxygen, but we don't get to feel it.
And there's no implication that these things aren't important because Tony explains multiple times how much they matter to him. And it's even shown by his reluctance. You know what? 5 cents. Because I can.
You ever hear the saying, show, don't tell?
Don't worry. I have.
Avengers Endgame, because of the massive size of the plot and the sheer number of characters, does a lot of telling. But not nearly enough showing for me to connect with these characters like I have in previous films.
It worked for me, so 5 cents? 5 cents.
what that dance represents and shows us about how far his character has come. It's a beautiful way to end the movie. It's very Spider-Man 3 and I adore it, but it didn't feel earned to me. We don't see any of that because Infinity War takes place 4 years later.
2 years. 2 years later.
Between defeating Thanos and returning the stones, Steve decides the war is over and it's time for him to go live a real life. I just wish I knew, wish I saw when and why he made that choice.
It happens in this movie, in this scene in particular.
Well, after I put the stones back, I thought maybe I'll try some of that life Tony was telling me to get.
I often hear the argument that you have to view Endgame as the conclusion of all the movies and not as a traditional film.
No, that is a terrible way to look at it. Who told you that? Was it Brown Table? I bet it was Brown Table.
And that's a completely fair argument.
Oh, well, what the fuck?
Dealing with losing his family and building a new one, Thor battling self-doubt and depression, Nebula fully growing into a hero, Cap realizing he can be happy, Tony becoming happy and then sacrificing that and himself for the greater good, all feel like they deserve their own movie.
This is an Avengers movie, and they are Avengers, but I feel like the arcs of these characters were contained and put together. I don't feel like they are rushed. I just feel like they were given their own pieces to grow and change within such a huge piece.
The tone balancing is also much messier than previous Avengers films. A lot of heartfelt moments are undermined by these harsh cuts to comedic scenes.
I think this works quite well considering the whole vibe we get from Black Widow and Hawkeye here is that they end it by talking about hope. And then we get to the context of the Avengers all being together in the same room working on bringing everyone back for the first time in 5 years. This is meant to uplift us after getting that emotional scene. Also this.
And we cut away after a mere 20 seconds of processing her death. The rest of the Avengers mourn her for around 2 minutes before we go back to the plot and back to the jokes.
Remember when I talked about tonal shifts?
For a movie that, in theory, is about grief, trauma, and overcoming that grief and trauma, there is an overabundance of the typical jokes and quips that Marvel has been doing since the first Avengers.
Overcoming is exactly what the story is about. Working through grief and trauma doesn't mean you have to put everything on hold. This is getting too serious. 5 cents.
I'm not expecting a dark, tragic tale with zero humor. As you all know, some of my favorite movies are cheesy as hell.
Oh, what the fuck?
But there are often times during Endgame where I feel like there should be a laugh track.
What's up, regular size man?
Hey now, I like some of it. Now it may seem like I hate this movie. I spent the last however many minutes talking about why the film didn't work for me, and I'm gonna continue to spend however many minutes until this video is over doing the same thing.
And where am I? I'm still fucking here.
Crazy time travel nostalgia trip through the MCU is a brilliant idea. It's a love letter to the past 10 years, it's filled with fun fan service, and it's just fucking cool, man.
Wait, did Alex just say he liked the time travel and the fan service? Take off 5 cents.
Tony's death and the funeral that follows being the slowest scenes in the film almost gives it the weight it deserves.
You had me until you said almost. No, I'm just kidding.
They're also insanely great at balancing a large number of characters and making them all, for the most part, feel real and human.
You know it's coming. 10 cents. Ha, gotcha. You thought it was going to be 5, didn't you, you dumb bitch?
But I personally find Avengers Endgame very ugly.
No, you.
They shoot this flat image of the actors in front of a green screen. They add in some bland background, then they blur that background to get the illusion of a shallow depth of field, the illusion that they have a tight focus on the actors. So many shots are done like this.
I personally don't care about trees and backgrounds because the focus should be on the characters and the story that's being told. But no, I got nothing to say, actually. I thought I was going to be able to say something like, you got a point, but I can't really bring myself to do it.
This most likely happens because these movies are rushed. They have to come out once a year, sometimes twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year, and now apparently 4 times a year. And
Avengers Endgame was filmed in 2017 with reshoots that happened months before release. But also, Far From Home's illusion sequence itself took 9 months to make. That doesn't sound like a rush to me.
Now, some of you may not care about this, and that's perfectly fine. If the story, the characters, and the direction of the actors is enough for you to ignore the mostly bland visual style of the film, that's also fine.
Well, way to make me sound like an asshole while sounding like an asshole. What? Huh?
Armies running at each other leave me numb.
I hear Prozac helps.
Far From Home, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp all feel like they could be directed by the same person.
Man, what?
Little visual storytelling, little to no impressive shots, dynamic lighting, purposeful blocking. That's not where Marvel's focus is.
And it doesn't have to be. Cinematography really means diddly squat to me as long as the story and the characters are engaging. And that is why I think I am film Twitter's nightmare. I don't care about the camera work. If I see something that is cool, I'll go, oh, that was cool. But other than that, I don't really care. But it's fine if you do. I just don't. Did I mention that I don't care?
So what's next? 100 MCU Disney Plus shows, a lot of craziness in Phase 4. Am I excited for any of it, or am I going to remain a cynical prick?
Eternals is utilizing almost exclusively practical sets, will also be filmed on film. WandaVision will have some scenes filmed in front of a live studio audience, and Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness, fuck that's a long title, is going to be a horror film. And yes, you might be a cynical prick, but your cynical prickiness is all on you, my guy. Join me in Optimus Land, where there's an overflowing amount of empathy and understanding. But also less views and less subs. But at least I'm happy.
I'm not excited. I'm actually depressed.
I hear Prozac helps.
If we get films that aren't afraid to be different, then hell yeah, I'm excited.
The smile is looking a little stiff, my guy, but at least it happened. Forced or not. Also, are those Ray-Bans? The fuck am I giving you $1 a month for? Nah, I'm calling Patreon. I want my money back. Damn. I guess it's conclusion time. Avengers Endgame is my favorite movie of all time. And before anybody says it, yes, I do watch more movies. But the MCU has been something that I have connected to and resonated with since I was little. I'm pretty sure Alex and I are about the same age, so we have both been watching these films for the exact same amount of time. But we are two completely different people. I loved Captain Marvel, and he didn't. He loved Shazam, and I didn't, which is perfectly fine. Which is why I hope those of you who have stuck with me this far in this video are ready to get to the real seriousness of it. This video is meant to try and make you laugh with a little bit of a rebuttal to what he says, to show two sides of a coin. My side of the coin. Whether you agree with Alex or agree with me, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that we all enjoy what we like and let others do the same. We gotta stop acting as if our thoughts are definitive of the art we discuss. So some people didn't love Avengers Endgame. Cool. But don't act like that makes you some kind of film god, no matter how many movies you've seen. And some people love Avengers Endgame. That doesn't mean that other directors and people aren't allowed to give their opinions, no matter how shallow or misinformed they might be. The MCU is something that, to me, is an ever-evolving thing. It is something that has slowly changed as time has gone on. For better or worse is fully depending on who you ask. My main goal with this video was to make people laugh, but why can't I take this as an opportunity to make people think? Think about your favorite film or franchise and what it means to you. Now imagine someone taking a shit on your collector's edition box set. Nobody should ever attack anyone for the movies they like or don't like. Alex, we may disagree on this movie, and we may disagree on the MCU, but I feel like we both care about it. And I hope a time will come where I can see you be as excited as me. I want everyone to enjoy the things they care about. I want to see people getting hyped for what they love without being attacked and berated for it. I want to live in a world where people can make videos about loving or hating films from a sincere, empathetic standpoint and not have to deal with response videos telling them that they are wrong for how they feel. No, wait, I didn't write this, did I? I'm a fan of HiTop Films and I do support him. He's made some great videos and he puts a great amount of effort and personality into his videos. And even though he might tweet something that completely boggles my mind, like, come on, Alex, the Avengers were named after a plane, man, what? And just because I support him does not mean I can't criticize him. People do the same thing with movies. It's what video essayists do on the reg. This video is meant to be hyperbolic and, to be honest, a little dumb. I thought I could give my emotional response to Alex's emotional response by putting a comedic spin on it. I'm adding this part because I have seen how people have reacted and treated Alex for making his video, and how his fan base has reacted to it. I personally don't think I mesh with some of his other fans and how they go about viewing and talking about art. This isn't a dig, I'm just being honest. I feel like this video is getting confusing. I want to make a funny video that has something real to say, that can entertain people who agree or disagree with Alex or myself. But you can't please everyone, and I'm fine with that. I don't really know how to end this video. I can't really think of anything else to say. I guess all I want to say is Black Widow in theaters May 2020.